Hello, and welcome to another Black Lotus podcast. I am your host today, Mike Blue, and today, as always, is going to be a very special podcast. I bring on a very dear and close friend of mine, Raven. Say hello to the peoples.
Hi, everyone.
So, today, ironically, we have a topic, which is something we have not done in a very long time, as everybody knows, because we said we weren't going to do topics anymore. But I feel that I had to talk about this on a podcast. First and foremost, we had a conversation. We were going to start this conversation on FaceTime, but I said, hold that thought. Let's have this on a podcast. So I'll let you start it off. What was the beginning of this conversation going like?
Basically, I don't know. So basically, I was watching a YouTube video, and he was going around like like doing like the little, what is it called?
Public interview.
Loyalty test, or whatever.
Oh.
And there was one couple came up, and he was like, "Are you guys a couple?" Da 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 da. And then she was like, "I don't know, ask him." And then, he was like, "How long have y'all been together, or how long have y'all had something going on?" And she was like, "For 8 years." They've been talking for 8 years, and that was just crazy to me. Because how are you on a talking stage for 8 years? How do you put yourself in that position? Like, why are you still there? What's going on?
My thing always has and always will be this dating culture has diminished over the years from generation to generation. Even though I can't speak on past generations because I honestly don't know, you know what I'm saying, like what it was actually hitting for, but I will say this. Talking stages have no benefit or value to anybody who's really thinking about long term.
I don't agree.
Elaborate. I want to hear before I make my case.
I don't agree. I just feel like, okay, so for talking stage, I feel like it's the stage right before you starting to date someone. That's the stage where you feel like you really like them or not. You don't really have to know them. I feel like now we're confused with having to know everything about a person before they start dating. Dating is for you to get to know the person. Dating is for you to get to know the person. You don't have to know them. I feel like we use the talking stage as an excuse because you're scared of commitment. But
that's exactly what I'm saying. See, this is the thing.
No.
People who use talking stages as an excuse always have multiple different options. I live by it.
I feel like, I don't know. I just don't get how guys expect girlfriend benefits without giving the girl the title. That makes zero sense to me. You can't expect me. And then you get mad when I say no because I'm not your girlfriend.
See, my thing is though, like you can't just say it's all about men because women.
No, females, we do the exact same thing. I'm not even saying a lie.
My thing.
You have your point.
Like about like the benefits of it. It's about the repercussions and the consequences that come with, going into relationships with, multiple different partners. Like, let's say a person like checks out and then they start talking to somebody else, right? The girl finds out, right? Where are the consequences that come with that?
Hold on, wait. Say that again. Where are the consequences that come with what?
With, a person talking to somebody. There's none. There's no consequences.
Yes, there is. Once your feelings are involved, once you talk to somebody and your feelings are involved, the consequences are, I'm going to feel this if it don't work out. I'm going to feel this one. Like, this is going to hurt me. This is going to bring me down for a couple of days. That's the consequence of it. But I feel like everyone is so, everyone is so protective, I guess, where they don't even let themselves get to that point. And I think for me, it's more of a, I don't know. I feel like everyone's just protecting themselves and not putting themselves out there. One person hurt them and now you're heartbroken for the rest of your life. That makes zero sense to me. I hear the sob story from so many different people, and they all dang near have the exact same story. I mean, it may vary, but it's all around the same topic. A girl done broke her heart or broke his heart, and now you don't trust females. One female. That don't make no sense. And I mean, it's the same thing with us.
Yeah. I mean, my
It's
thing,
like,
like, I understand where they're coming from because, like, everybody that had that one heartbreak that really like fucked up their whole like ideology, their whole perception on life, right?
yeah.
Recover from that though. You know what I'm saying? And that's where everybody starts doing the talking stages and be like, oh, I don't really like, I'm not really looking for nothing serious, like, but like, and I can understand why people don't look for shit serious like nowadays, like, because there's no consequences for people's actions. Like, there's
But my
no
thing is, you can't. Okay, so because you're not looking for anything serious, I feel like, okay, hold on.
because there's no
Because,
people's actions. Like, let me give you an example.
okay.
You start talking to somebody, right? As you're talking to that person, you start to develop feelings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that person says, "Oh, I think I want to start talking to other people," right? But you
Mm-hmm.
don't start talking to other people. You find out they start talking to other people. You hit with a situation where you're just like out here looking ass out, looking stupid, because you thinking you the only one this whole time.
That's where there needs to be open communication. That's where
No,
the
no,
communication needs to be.
that's the lack of
And I
respect.
feel like,
Lack of respect.
exactly,
That's
exactly.
the
There's no respect when it comes to
because
the talking
no
stage.
consequences. But when you have a girlfriend, right? You have a girlfriend, there's consequences. Or you have a boyfriend, there's consequences to your actions.
Yeah, yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't sit here and be in the talking stage for heck long and then throw in my
Brother.
face that we're not together. That I feel like that's the only reason why there's no title put onto it, because you still have the excuse, because there's no, you're not official boyfriend and girlfriend, so there's still, you could still do as you please and make the excuse we're not together. So
You see what exactly, and that's where a lot of people get caught up in their feelings and shit. So my thing is, why don't people establish what they want at the beginning? Because a lot nowadays, if you establish what you want at the beginning, you seem like a weirdo.
because most, yeah, you do. You seem
You know,
too.
like if you say from jump, I'm looking, like I've been in the game for a minute. I'm looking to settle down. I don't want to play no more games. Like I'm looking, to like really fuck with you.
But I feel like if I hear that, if
you gonna be thrown off. But also on
if
the flip,
I yeah, because then I feel like that's just something, that's just a game. That's just something you say to everyone. You know what I mean?
exactly, exactly. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna believe that if you tell me that off top, off rip. Like that's just me.
You
You know what I'm saying?
coming?
Like, and I'm not saying this like first date. Like, who who says it's your first date? That's just not that's not authentic. But it's
Lotus.
like you've been talking
What is that? I'm not getting on.
two or three, 2 or 3 weeks. Nah, 2 or 3,
Okay, but
yeah,
then after that,
like a month.
okay, and then what's 2 or 3
You
weeks
don't,
for what? To
you
figure out what you
you,
want?
yeah.
Or what's the rules in the talking stage? What's the rules? Because I feel like
I feel like you should not be talking to somebody for more than. I don't think you should be talking to a person for more than.
2 months, 3 months, 2, 3 months. That's
I
it.
I say 3 months max. You got a 3 months max contract. Let's put it like that. 3 months max
That's
contract.
it.
You don't do shit with it.
And
You
people
gotta
like
go back
in,
to the game. But my thing is,
yeah.
that's only for people who aren't looking. That's only for people who are looking for serious stuff. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not, it's perfectly fine. Like you can have different people in your rotation. Just make it be clear that I'm not looking for nothing serious. You know what I'm saying? Don't just waste person's
Okay, so
time.
when they throw in
And
your face, we're
within,
not together. Do you have? Can you feel some type of way?
huh? I mean, 3 months is to make that to help your feelings grow for a person because as we all know, love is just uh it's just the amount of time that you spent with somebody and the feelings and the experiences that you cherish with somebody. That's what love is. You know what I'm saying? So that's to help,
Mm-hmm.
the feelings that you're gonna fall in love with in 3 months. Like that's unreal. That's unreal. Um, but I will say that those feelings do develop. You know what I'm saying within those 3 months. So off top, I'm just gonna say this. I feel that when a person, actually, I'm not gonna say feel. I think that a person who begins to um, have all these talking stages, they're just gonna start feeling less and less like committed to a person. You know what I'm saying? Or to people in
Mhm.
general. They're gonna feel less of a connection with people because they're having all these talking stages and there's no genuine connections out there.
Right.
That's just, but that's off top though. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's off top. Like, I feel like exactly, love is a choice. You know what I'm saying? Like, love is
It
a
is.
choice.
You have to make that choice every single day. You could wake up someday and be like, "No, I don't love you today." A love isn't a feeling that you're gonna have all the time. You have to choose to love that person every single day.
That's facts. That's facts.
Love is a choice.
That's facts. That's facts. But I mean, like, at the end of the day, though, I'm gonna say this: you got to be clear about what you want. People aren't clear about what they want. They're not communicating what they want. It's literally as simple as this: I want to be exclusive. That and I hate the term exclusive talking. Fuck that shit. I will never be exclusively talking to another person ever again. Let me tell you why. Because if I
Okay.
exclusively talking to somebody, why are we not boyfriend and girlfriend type shit? Why are we not
Exactly.
dating? You know what I'm saying? There's no
Exactly.
point of us exclusively talking.
That's where the fear comes in. They're scared. They're
Exactly.
scared.
They just don't want the commitment. If you don't want the commitment, why are you exclusively talking to somebody? Why don't you
If you
just
don't want the
explore your
commitment,
options?
why are you even?
Niggas have options. Women have options. Just explore your options until you feel comfortable enough with one person to be like, hey, I fuck with you more than I fuck with anybody else in this game right
And
now.
I
Let me
think
tuck off.
another thing is, I think another thing is, um, I lost it. This car tried to race me, so I lost. I mean, I lost my train of thought. But no, for real, this minivan was pushing too. I'm driving with my lights off. God damn.
Oh, you
Um,
was trying.
but no, I just feel like talking stage 3 months max. After that, what are you doing? What do you want? Why haven't you chose? And even then, okay, so do we have to wait for the guy, or can we make a move? Is that uncomfortable to y'all?
I mean,
Is
it's not
that finding where it's
uncomfortable.
assertive? Is that
It's not comfortable. I feel like men should be just make that move if they and like
why don't y'all?
it's the same reason why girls don't ask niggas out on dates.
So y'all want that?
I'm not saying that we want that. I'm just saying that the men
What size is the
usually
basketball?
I feel like this. I feel like relationships usually work the best when the man makes the first.
Look on that size is over there. Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, you're right.
Let's talk how dudes act like Beyonce nowadays.
Hollywood.
No, we don't. But I will say that in the dating game, like in the dating market, somebody said they want to join.
Let
Gambino,
them know.
I'm gonna let you join. I'm gonna let you join, Gambino. Come on, brother. Concert?
Wait, brother, I'm at a live right now.
Yeah, I'm out of Where you at? That was Kobe Gambino for everybody. I'm not gonna say his real last name, but can be Kobe Gambino. Kobe. It's all good, brother. Uh, but yeah, okay. So my thing is, I don't like women nowadays. They step into a very masculine position Joey, just join. Joey, just join. Just join. Joey, just join. I know you said you was going to do the essay, but just join. Just join. Damn, he brought.
You said what?
I said. He just
I
whined.
hate getting gas. This noise is so annoying.
But I feel that. Not even feel. Like, I think that people choose and neglect who they spend their time with. Like they consciously really want to be with somebody, but they don't at the same time because they want to be other option because they feel like somehow in the world there's going to be another option that's going to be better than that person. But at the end of the day, you have to choose the person that you want to be with in order for you to be happy. Because there's always going to be another train coming. But for you to have an actual connection with somebody, you have to like actually invest your time, your feelings into a person in order to get what you.
I feel like
It does kill. It does. It does. It always ends. We live. I don't think I've said this on the podcast, but we live in a cycle of pain. This cycle of pain does not mean we're constantly in pain. It just means that everything we do, every interaction we have with a person, ends in pain. It comes around. We might be in love at some point. You know what I'm saying? We might be in love, but eventually that love is going to turn into pain, and we just have to accept that. It is sad.
You can't be afraid of that.
But at the same, exactly, you can't be afraid of it. It's sad. You can't be afraid of it because you have to acknowledge that the feelings that you have with a person meant more than the pain. You know what I'm saying? Like the pain that you experience with a person really does not compare to what happened. You know, the pain that you feel with a person does not compare to the love that you felt for them. You know what I'm saying? Even when it comes to friendships and all, like relationships aside, if you're my brother, the time that we spend together, I'm gonna cherish it because at the end of the day, you're my brother. But eventually, it's going to end. It's going to end. No matter what you do, you can't fight it. It's going to end. Some event's going to happen. You're going to feel some type of way about it, and then you're going to end up hurt. And that's just pain. You know what I'm saying? But back to relationships, back to the dating market. We think of pain. Dang, Q, you're right, bro. You're right. We gotta really think about pain, not as something that's happening, but as an effect of what happens after love. You see what I'm saying? Like people think of pain as in like the end all be all, but pain is just something that we go through at a certain time, at a certain point in time. It's just something that's going to pass. You know what I'm saying? I bring to you guys Josiah Jacobs. Josiah Jacobs is going to be joining us live, my co-host, brother. You look tired as shit, nigga.
Good fucking job, nigga. Good job. Let's do this.
Way to go.
Let's fucking go. What's up, yo? I'm in this bitch. Michael, keep talking.
I'm gonna keep talking my shit. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I really feel passionate about this because I keep hearing all these people say, oh, I've been talking to this girl for like 11 months, 8 months, 16 months. What's the point of doing that? Unless you have your other options that you exercise. And to those people, who are okay with that and staying on that level, all power to you. You know what I'm saying? All power to you. Sometimes it just doesn't work out for you to be able to talk to one person at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But for those people who are actually looking for something serious, it's not fair.
Bro.
Not saying I'm not simping. I'm not saying that, I'm like, woe is me. I'm just saying what people are really thinking.
Facts. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like a reason why the talking stage is so is so prevalent in our society today is because of social media. I think
Facts.
I don't think people don't want to claim their significant other on social media because like that's part of the expectation of social media. Like if you have a girlfriend, you have to claim them. And what have we learned since we was little kids? Everything on the internet lasts forever, you know.
Facts.
And people are gonna remember that shit whenever you post somebody.
You
And
really
people
do. Oh, that was Michael's girlfriend, or oh, that was Raven's boyfriend, or that's Josiah's.
Exactly.
exactly,
That's the name that you're gonna be left with for the rest of your life. Dang, that's
yeah. And I feel like in the past, people just had girlfriends. Like it was just like it was like such and such. You know, people talked about it, but it wasn't something
right.
for everybody to see. It was really your own type of personal thing. And I feel like people are so caught up in all that shit now.
Facts.
You know, like talking is just it's just an excuse not to you know I'm gonna say it's an excuse because you still want to get to know somebody and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like three
It's just like remaining in that time point of just getting to know somebody and not going further than that. Like I feel like you shouldn't suspend the actual development of a relationship just because you quote unquote don't know a person enough.
yeah,
Because if you really think about it, you will never really know a person completely ever. People don't even know themselves completely. That's why a lot of people don't trust themselves.
that's true.
You see what I'm saying? So that's real. That honestly, if you really gonna say that, that's really bullshit. It really is. It's really BS. You saying that? Oh, I don't know you like that, or I don't think I'm ready for that shit because we haven't we I don't think we're deep enough. That's really just bullshit. That's really just
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't like. I think talking has like its advantages and disadvantages.
facts.
I think
Let's talk about the advantages though. I feel like I've really just been critiquing it all night. I really want to talk about the advantage of that.
I think the advantages for the people who have more options, it's an advantage to be with somebody that you deeply care about without having to be exclusive and you still get to fuck with other people.
Yeah, but
How do you
see
care about?
that's teasing both worlds though. I don't think that's an advantage.
But that overlaps each other. How can you care? How can you deeply care about somebody if you over here fucking on other people?
You can still care about them.
But how much? If you're willing to hurt them like that?
I mean, it's not hurting them if you're not in a relationship with them, like
I
officially.
feel like that's damn near I feel like that's damn near like a problem of today.
That's not me. And that's playing with somebody's feelings. Cause that's playing with somebody's feelings. If my feelings are invested, if we're are invested, and I feel like we got something going and it's gonna be something more, but then I hear that you fucking on somebody else, that's gonna hurt me. But you say you care about me, like that doesn't make any sense.
That's the thing. You can't communicate that you care. I think that's the problem. I think that's the problem nowadays. I think people are communicating these feelings that they don't really mean.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, if I say I care about you, if I say I care about you, you have to elaborate on that. Like like Joey, I see what you're saying. Like you care about somebody and you might deeply care about somebody, but you don't care about them enough to the point where you're willing to cut off all the rest of the people. And you have to like be very clear about that shit. Because if you just say, "Oh yeah, I care about you," they're gonna automatically think in the back of their head, subconsciously. They're gonna be like, "Damn, he cares about me." You know what I'm saying? That means he must want to be with me.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like you
Yeah.
got to be very clear about the things that people like that people have to be very clear about the things that we say. Like if I say I fuck with you, I would then have to say I fuck with you enough either to only fuck with you or I fuck with you enough to tell you that I'm not only fucking with you. That's if you really care about somebody, you would let them know that.
That's true.
That's true.
You would at least let them know. You would at least let them know the fact that I fuck with you enough. I have enough respect for you. I have enough respect for my own time to let you know I'm fucking with other people. Now, where we go from this, that's in your hands. You know what I'm saying? If you still want to fuck with me after, knowing that I fuck with other people, that's, we move out of the talking stage at that point. We
I
move it
mean,
different. We
if
move
you
either like a quote
If
link.
you're,
you know, unexclusive girlfriend or exclusive girlfriend. You know, it moves into a different atmosphere. I just feel like this talking stage in itself is just a prolonged dating stage. That's just it just has no consequences though.
Okay, so I have a
Right.
question.
Yeah.
Like someone, you know, your significant other, do you add the time that you guys were talking to the time, like as relationships, or do you add that when people be like, "How long have y'all been messing with each other?" Do you add that time or no?
Well, I mean, yeah, if they say how long y'all been messing with each other, yeah, but if somebody says how long have you
Or
been
how long together?
I'm
That's
how long
over, correct?
together, that's a completely different story. I'm counting the time that I say, hey, be my girlfriend, or hey, let's not talk to nobody else. Like you're mine now.
But there's a
That's
difference.
the day that I say that. That's when we start. That's when the time starts.
Uh,
Do you,
God.
okay,
That's just me though. Joey, what you think?
Bro, I don't. But that's a good ass question, bro. Like, I don't know, bro. I mean, cause like, I'll probably say when I start talking to them, when I start talking to them, that's when I count it. Not like dating though. When I ask her to be my girlfriend, like, I would say like at the moment I asked her.
Yeah. Oh,
Actually,
what?
nah,
Say the
nah.
question. Say the
I,
question.
I would, I would go to when I started messing with them. That's when I started. That's why. That's when I say how long.
how is it?
Huh?
Because like I feel like that's kind of like I feel like how would I? I'd say this. I say this. When I was talking, when if I say like a certain amount of months, right, and I ended up being like talking to somebody else during those times, it would make it seem like if somebody was like, oh yeah, they've been dating for like a year, but we've only really been together for like 9 months, and I ended up like actually like I was talking to other people within those 3 months. Then things would get kind of confused. At least
Exactly.
in the public eye. Even though I know that shit does not matter, really, social life it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? But it it kind of has a distortion on how you are seen by the public eye for like future endeavors with people. That's just that was just the logic that went through my head. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? You know what, Taylor? That's a good ass point because yeah, if you were talking to a lot of people, like before you officially cuff them, does get messy and it does get
Yeah,
kind of awkward. So
yeah,
like in that case, I probably would say when I started dating them is how long I say I've been messing with them for.
yeah, exactly. That's honestly that's the train of thought that I was on.
But like if I was talking to her and she was the only girl that I was talking to for that span of months.
Still,
I know
still.
I just feel like
Because
it's different in my head.
what if she wasn't just talking to you?
You're right. You're right.
You
I
know what I'm
don't
saying?
know. Yeah.
Because what if she wasn't just? Because I feel like nowadays people always think of just themselves of like, oh, if I'm not talking, this is really what fucks people up. Just because you're only talking to them does not mean that you're the only person that they're talking to. That is
That's true.
that is facts. That is facts. I don't care what nobody says. Just because you're the only person just because they're the only person you're talking to does not mean that you're the only person that they're talking to.
Nah, for
What the? What just happened? Where did you go? Where did you go? Where did you go?
bro, I accidentally swiped the other direction, bro. I was trying to tell people the question because some people were like kind of confused. Like the question is when do you start like if you've been dating somebody for like a year or something like that, when do you start counting the timeline that you've been dating them for? For how long you've been talking or for how long when you officially cuff them? You know what I'm saying? When do you start telling people how long we've been dating for?
Facts.
I think that's a hard question, especially in this modern era of dating. You know, I feel like for conversations like this, we need to talk to like older people about this shit more,
Facts.
because we only have our own reality. We only know what we go through. We don't really know how much different what we did is different from like what our parents did.
I will say from experience. I don't know if Dukes is in here, but we had a conversation literally today about this. Like, I was telling her, I was like, it's crazy how much people cheat nowadays. And she was like, well, people used to cheat back in the day. And I was like, I was knowing that, but and she said, and we have a conversation about one of my friends, and I was like, yeah, his girlfriend cheated on him, and I was like, but that's inevitable. And she agreed. She was like, yeah, you guys are 20. Like, what else do you expect? And then I begged the question. I was like, what does being 20 have to do with it?
You're
Just
young.
because you're young doesn't mean that you're gonna cheat, and just because you're older does not mean that you're not going to cheat.
I feel like
And
I
then
don't
wait.
as a whole just lost the meaning of relationship and really what that consists of. Because now it's normalized to cheat on people. It's like it's a given.
Nah, bro, I don't agree.
I wouldn't be surprised if I got cheated on because that's what is done. That's what's
Wait,
practiced.
Joey, you disagree with that?
Yeah, I disagree. People cheated before. People
Oh,
used to
I
people
thought
used to have two families like in the 50s, and it was easy. You could actually do that.
that was manageable back then. That was actually manageable. That's what's crazy about
You
it.
could actually do that because
Yeah.
people didn't post it online. The only thing you saw was the things that were in your immediate reality.
You can have
Like
miles away.
I feel like it's harder to cheat now because people talk more. Like,
Yeah.
like when they're not amongst each other, you can talk to people when you're laying in your bed by yourself. You you can gossip about shit like that. Before, like you can only gossip whenever people got together.
Facts.
But as a reversal of that, people got together more because we didn't have social media. People needed a reason to get together more.
That's a different podcast. We're gonna talk about that on a different podcast, Joey.
Man,
We're gonna talk about that on a different podcast. We're gonna talk about that on a different podcast. But no, for real, like, and then I beg the question of if why does age have to do with it? And she said it's not that it has to do with it. It's about the experience in the cheating game that you have. Older people just cheat better, and that just blew my mind. I don't know why it did, but it just blew my mind because like it's not that people age up and they start valuing relationships more. It's just they understand how to cheat better.
who knows how to see better?
It's older people.
I don't know. I mean, they still used to get caught back in the day, bro.
Like even now, older people, you know what I'm saying? People in their 30s, they don't stop. They don't just magically just stop cheating because they get married or because they're exclusively like they have a girlfriend.
That's true.
That doesn't stop anything. Those people still cheat. They just cheat better because they understand what not to do and what to do in order not to get caught.
I mean, bro, like personally, ever since monogamy has been a thing in human history, people have cheated. People cheated then, people cheated now, and people cheat in the future. It's inevitable. It's going to happen.
That is an inevitable cycle of pain.
It's going to happen, bro. Like you can't introduce some type of social program or some type of philosophy that's going to make people not cheat. Either you do or you don't, and that comes down to your moral code.
Facts. I was just talking about that. It really comes down to this. How much integrity do you really have? Do you have the strength to say, hey, I'm not going to lie, I need something different?
Yeah.
I got kind of tired of you. Nothing against you. It's just, I need something different now. Or are you just going to be like, I still like her, or I still think that I have feelings for this person, even though most of the time you really don't. But I want something different. So you go cheat.
I mean, motherfuckers get tired of each other. Like that's gonna happen, bro. It happens. It happens.
I feel like that's because people already have an idea of you, but they really, if it makes sense, they have an idea of who you are, which is an idea of you in their head of what you want to be before they get with you for real, and they just hold you to that expectation. So when you don't hit that expectation, told you. You're like, no, but that's real. It
That
don't
is.
make
It
sense. That's maybe I'm not making sense, but
no,
shit,
it makes sense.
I
That's
hear
why.
that from so many people, and it makes sense because
Yeah.
you put expectations on somebody without really putting expectations on somebody, and now you're not hitting my expectations. So
Exactly. And that's the thing. We have to stop. Me and Yid had this conversation earlier on God. On God, me and Yid had this conversation earlier. Why do we put these expectations on our in our head? Like we fantasize shit, right? And when we fantasize shit, we don't we don't actually act on those fantasies. We just wait for those fantasies to become real. For
Yeah.
instance, when you want to start dating somebody, right? You start thinking about all the possibilities of, the things that you could be doing with that person, right? Without actually doing that shit. You put all that shit on a fucking pedestal. And you're like, oh, one day I'll be able to do that shit. But you're not acting on that. You're not actually wanting to do that shit. So when that expectation is now up here and you're down here, and now you realize that you no longer can obtain that, you're let down and you're hurt. You're hurt more than you would have to be hurt.
yeah,
And that
I'm,
shit, it makes you feel some type of way because like that you're not hurting anybody but yourself. They're not hurt because you were let down because the expectation was not reached. You're the only person, and that's why I truly believe that you're the only person who can really hurt yourself.
bro, that's facts. I just think overall, like in human nature, like the expectation or like of our thoughts is always better than how it actually turns out. That's with everything in life. Michael, we talk about this. Thinking about the grind is better than the actual grind. Think,
Fact.
thinking about what's about to happen with that person is better than what actually happens. And not saying what happens with that person isn't cool, but it's better to think about it before. It's better just thinking about it is cool. Your fantasy is better than the actual reality.
Facts.
And that's why it's a fantasy.
Yes.
That's why.
The difference between the difference between the reality and just living in bliss is the hope and the efforts that you put towards obtaining that hope.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like you can live in bliss and be like, man, she's so sweet. I can't wait to one day cuff her. She ends up fucking with somebody else, right? Now you're butt ass hurt.
Your reality is torn.
Huh?
Your reality is torn down.
Exactly. And now you're seeing reality, right? And then instead of like saying, oh, well that was valid and these are the reasons why it was valid, and now realizing like, oh, my expectations were this high when they really should have been like right here, and so I would be able to rationalize that shit, so when I got let down it wouldn't be me actually falling.
Yeah.
You step into a lane where you're like, well, this shit was obtainable. I wasn't able to obtain it. Let me move on. Not being like, oh, since I wasn't able to obtain that, fuck everybody.
But that's hard to do though, because when we don't obtain things,
I
huh?
want to take maturity.
I feel like that's not even maturity though. Like when we don't obtain things that we dreamed about, it's hard to just say fuck it. I'm gonna keep moving on. That's hard to do, bruh. Like,
But the thing is, you have to keep that hope, though. You
but
gotta.
it
I hate
it
to
it,
sound Jesse Jackson, but keep hope alive.
it all depends on, like, it's gonna hurt at first, but it all depends on how quickly you move on from the situation. Because some people choose to dwell on things for a long period of time instead of moving on. Some people dwell on things for like a month. Some people do it for like 5 months. It's about, I think that's the real maturity, is how long does it take to overcome that problem.
I mean, I know everybody hates me referencing him, but Kevin Samuels says that uh, it takes a third of the time that you were with somebody to actually officially get over them.
I talk shit about Kevin Samuels, but he keeps it real. Like you can't even really see him getting mad about the shit that he says for real, because it's like he's saying everything that nobody would feel.
We live in a soft society.
We live in a soft-minded society.
And that's why people are mad.
Taylor said. She said maybe if we expressed our fantasies, they could they could become reality. That's another thing. That is I said that earlier. Like if you express, what you desire, closed mouths just don't get fed. So if you express your desires, what's the worst that could happen? You won't get fed.
Bruh, is your fantasy even a fantasy anymore though? If you talk about it out loud,
It just becomes your reality, honestly, or it just becomes a fantasy, or it just becomes a dream.
but is it the same though? Is it the same? I think it depends on how 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 much your fantasy is like how actually obtainable is it? Is it realistic?
Wish to be like, oh, I want $1 million, and then just say, oh yeah, I want $1 million, and just happen to get $1 million. You gotta obviously work for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you gotta work for everything. I mean, Taylor, you're right. You have to. Wait, why would you want to just keep that a fantasy though? Because I mean, it just feels better to think about things. Because I know a lot of time girls want dudes to do things for them without them having to ask for it.
Yeah, they think we have telepathy on some shit.
Exactly. Like, and I know hella dudes in here agree with me because that's facts. Like girls want you to do things without you having to without them having to say it.
For instance, hey, what you want to eat? I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you say exact. I know it's the most satisfying thing for like any girl in a relationship. What do you want to eat? I don't know. Okay, let's go to Chick-fil-A, and that's exactly what you wanted. Most satisfying shit, I promise you.
And what if that's not what she wanted?
Then you just gotta keep.
Never go wrong with you.
Or is we still just finna, or are we gonna go to Chick-fil-A anyway because she can't make up her mind?
And sometimes let me twist this back to you. Just because she said she didn't want that, eventually after that, who do you know? She might have actually been happy eating that.
I mean, if she's not gonna decide. Somebody gotta decide.
I'm not gonna say like you should force somebody to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you shouldn't force nobody to do shit. But I'm saying like just because like you don't want that does not mean you're not gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know, bro. Expectations versus reality is just. It's just really just fantasy versus reality. Like,
I mean, but
are your expectations realistic, bro? You gotta live in the real world.
I know, but we know as Purple Pill, you know what I'm saying? As the Purple Pill, founders, we know that in reality, we must have hope.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we have to have hope.
At the end of the day, we must have hope.
Yeah, you can't be hella cynical about things because being cynical about life in general is gonna lead you to having a miserable life.
Facts.
You know.
Black pill.
Yeah. That's black pill right there. Like when you are so cynical about relationships and you think it's always gonna end bad, and like I feel like when you've been hurt before, especially multiple times, it's hard to not think like that. Because sometimes you might think shit is always temporary. You think, all right, bro, it don't matter, but this shit gonna end anyway. But that's why it's important to maintain, not like I would say reasonable hope. Like what are you doing in your daily life to make sure you aren't hurt like that? Like where are you looking at the red flags in somebody so you don't get too deeply attached before they inevitably fuck you over? What?
I feel like when you get into relationships, people they don't see the red flags. They make excuses for it because
Yeah, but that's
you don't really see the person for what they really are because your feelings are there, like who they really.
That's true.
That's actually like you don't fuck with that person for real because if you really fucked with a person, you would see their imperfections, and you would have even more love for them because they showed you their imperfections.
I mean, all imperfections aren't good imperfections, though.
That's true. at the same time, you would respect the fact that they showed you that side of you, because now that connection is even stronger.
Not in every situation, though.
I think it depends on the side of. I think it
I
depends on
mean,
the side that they show
what
you.
like a true red flag, and you have to like leave on some shit. Of course, but I'm saying if it's obtainable, and it's like something that's like it's something that you can work through. It gives you some texture. It gives you some trial and tribulation to get through. I feel like what I'm saying. Like it makes it stronger.
I mean, Michael, we know someone right now who's going through trials and tribulations, and and like personally, I wouldn't deal with that, but to each their own. To each their own. Some people wanna fight more. Some people wanna stay together like that, and that's fine. It's just about what are you doing? What are you doing on a consistent basis to make sure your relationship is healthy? I'm not adding him, bro. I'm not. No.
No, wait.
No. No, I'm not. I'm not. Wait, what is this? She said the red flag is facing you, so you can't see the flag for where it is. Man, that's facts. Man, that's hella true. That's hella true. That's facts.
I heard this one time. I heard this one thing. If all you see is red, how are you supposed to
Oh
see?
God. Well, Michael, what'd you say?
I heard this one time. If all you see is red, how are you supposed to see the flag?
Man, that's true, bruh. That's true.
Like, and people who live in like bliss, they don't understand that. Like, there's an actual.
Man, hey, Danae just spit some facts. I'm not gonna lie. Danae always be coming in here in our lives with some fucking heat, bro. She always be coming in with some crazy shit.
Facts.
Because that's true. People do use those things to manipulate you.
They do. They take your weak spots and manipulate.
There's certain this is one thing that people should be really cautious about. A person who has too perfect of imperfections, because those imperfections are no longer real.
Wait, do you have an example of that?
Okay, for instance, if a person how do I explain this, bruh? Okay, I saw this in you. I watched the show, watched that whole thing. Shit's nuts. Shit's absolutely insane. But so and you kind of like see how a person can manipulate you into thinking that oh shit, like they're perfect for me, right? The whole time they just wanted you to think that they were perfect for you, right? So they'll do little shit fuck up every now and again on some little shit being messy, or leaving a little corner. Even that shit, it irks me all the time. Like leaving a little corner of orange juice in the fucking orange juice box, or the glass or carton or whatever you want to call it. Doing leaving out little shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's not a real imperfection. It's just they want to think they want to give you some texture to form this bond. Because you don't form a bond. You can't form a bond if it's too smooth surfaces. There has to be,
man, bro, that's facts. Now there has to be some type of trial or some type of trial and tribulation in order to form that bond. Show we need to show each other that we're gonna be here when something goes wrong. I feel like that's when you really form a bond with somebody.
Yeah.
That's when you form a bond. But sometimes it's taken to too much to an extreme, because that's what's it called? What the fuck is the word? It's trauma bonding. Trauma bonding. That's
too much bonding. That's just a toxic relationship at that point.
That's a toxic relationship. But we see too much of that in our community. I'll say that in present day.
Thanks.
Like a lot of toxic things. And if you listen to our Howard University edition, being toxic is cool. That's what I say.
And I want to rephrase what I said on that. I did say that means that the whole black community is toxic. I recant my statement because I don't feel that the black community is toxic. I just feel like we've been through some shit and we don't know how to express ourselves.
But we need to go to therapy.
Yeah, as an entire community. You know what I'm saying? As an entire society, not even a community, as an entire society, as an entire black society, we need to go to therapy and really address the things that is happening. Like, there's too many of us who are raised in single mother households, which creates a whole nother path of trauma. There's there's too many of us who are adapted to, quote unquote, getting beat. You know what I'm saying? There's too many of us who are so used to having colorism as just a norm in our households. There's too many of us who are just used to seeing people, you know, around just like the hood and just like seeing like, just normal, seeing things that look normal to us, but it's actually looked at it as traumatic. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you actually see what's not healthy in your life, how are you supposed to live a healthy life?
I mean, facts, bro. I mean, we just have like a lot of trauma in our community. Like I always say this, but like slavery was only 7 generations ago. Like,
It seemed like
like
it was 16
when when when
generations.
when you're playing telephone, usually by the seventh person, the message is still kind of the same. It's still kind of the same, like, so a lot of the things that we pass on to our children are still the same since slavery, and we
Yeah.
have to take accountability and try to fix these traumas that we go through today, especially in the black dating culture. You feel
Fact.
me?
Because it all starts with the parents.
Yeah.
All starts with the parents. Fucking starts with the children. It starts with the parents. Because you can't teach a child. Man, we getting off topic. We getting off topic. That's a different podcast. That's a different podcast. I do want to say this though. Um, when it comes to the things that we talk about within like dating culture, whether you're dating white or black people, I exclusively date black, but that's a whole different reason on why I do that.
You just wanted to flex right there.
But anyway, I think that when we really talk about the things that we want out of relationships, I feel like people really don't. We don't talk about. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. We don't talk about the things that we've been through. Like, we're too scared to be like, oh, I or the things that we're doing. And people like be like, I'm talking to multiple people, but I don't really want to say that. So I'm gonna be like, oh no, you're the only person I'm talking to.
But some do keep it real. Some do like, yeah, I'm talking to multiple.
And those people keep it real. I respect it.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother, you got to keep it real,
You,
bro. You got to be a man of your word.
And just because a person is not only talking to you at the moment does not mean that they don't want something. They don't want something serious with you. People are willing to cut people off just to fuck with only you.
mhm.
I mean, and I seen Dinesh say people don't have a conversation before they actually get in relationships. I mean, what is the conversation you're supposed to have?
Mmm.
What, yeah, like what's the conversation you're supposed to have?
That needs to be had is what are your
It was 20. It was 20.
what are your turnoffs? What are things that like no, if I do this, it's a no, you're out of there. What are things that I don't know, like shoot.
What?
No,
I mean,
what?
Do you know we only have an hour? I thought they. Dang, that's crazy. They took it back. Well,
that's crazy,
guess we're going to end this podcast.
man. Fuck Instagram.
It's the platform we use, man. We're gonna have to start using Spotify Green Room. Everybody, check us out on Spotify, Instagram, YouTube,
Apple
Spotify,
Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts. We're everywhere. Thank you guys for all listening. I guess it's the end of the conversation.
We just hit 2 bands on all streaming platforms. 2K listens. Keep tuning in to the Black Lotus podcast. We just getting started, my boys
We just get
and girls.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But hey, thank you, Raven, for coming on.
Yeah, thank you, Raven. Appreciate you, for real.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening to our conversation. We'll be having way more conversations like this, and even more deeper conversations about Black society and all that. Just tune in. Everybody go follow our Instagram account, The Black Lotus Podcast. It's just simple like that. And yeah, everybody have a good night. As long as you show love,
We'll stay consistent, baby.
one love. Peace.
All right, y'all. For sure.